Lee Hendrie, you were watching that game, at times very frustratingly. What did you make of the performance overall, first of all?
So you don't want to really criticise too much because, you know, they had control of the game. I mean, what was it, 70% possession of the ball, but not enough sort of attacking threat for me until the changes were made. You know, I know it's always going to be difficult when you go away from home, particularly against a team like Finland who are going to defend gamely. But you've got to find a formula of trying to break them down. And the more I assess that performance, the more I just feel that when you're playing up against a back five, I think, I'm not a centre-half, I never have been, but I think if I was a centre-half, if anything was in front of me, I would be quite happy with that, particularly having two either side of me. Anything going in behind me, I would be cautious because I know that there's wide players that can run in behind. I know that forward players can run in behind. But I just felt it was far too easy in that midfield area. I felt that Gomez, Rice, yes, good at what they do, and I'm not criticising them at all. I just think that this theory of playing Bellingham and Rice and people not wanting it to happen, I think it'll work really well. I really do, because I think that Bellingham can be that sort of second striker at times and go and get in the box. I feel that we've got two identical players that do similar things in that midfield area. Take too long, all of a sudden you're allowing Finland to get back into that back five, four in midfield, and then how do you break that down? How do you break it down? Because they're dropping deep. It's difficult, and this is what you get at international level, and this is where you've got to find a formula of being successful. I think moving the ball quickly forward, as we did in the closing stages, the last 15, 20 minutes since making the changes, I felt that there was an impetus of us looking more dangerous and looking a threat, and that's just from getting the ball and playing it into them areas where players are going to run up the pitch and expose.
You mentioned when the changes came, it looked a little bit better for England. What would you say the overall positives were to come out of this performance for England?
So it was a professional performance, you know, it was. I think the positives are the changes that were made. You know, I still say this, that Harry Kane drops into areas that sometimes he's in and on the toes of Bellingham if he's playing in a 10. So having Watkins come on and making them runs in behind, stretching defences, allows Madueke to get high up the pitch, allows Grealish to get high up the pitch. And as we've seen, Declan Rice getting high up the pitch because we're stretching teams and we're allowing bodies to get in the box. When wide players get the ball in wide areas, and it happened in first half, there was nothing to go by. There was no ball where you could think, well, he's going to flash that in the box. There's no one there as a focal point to think, oh, I'm going to whip that ball across. And that's where I just feel that Ollie Watkins was the positive tonight. I know that I criticised him about the goal and defensively, but it was a poor goal they conceded. But in the forward area where he's good at his job, he did his job well. He stretched, he got high up the pitch, he created one of the goals. And that's what you want to see, you know, he's got pace, and I like to see that pace in the front line. And I think that's where I try and relate to watching Spain. When they get the ball, they're fast. They get on the ball and they get it to wide players. They get it into their front men and they ask questions. I felt we were laboured at times of doing that.
Lee, you mentioned the defence and the poor goal that they conceded tonight, and the two that they conceded against Greece as well. All of the talk has been about how they're going to fit all these forward players in. Yeah. Is what's being overlooked here slightly more worrying in that England's defensive outlook and how they're playing from the back is a little bit worrying? Well,
yeah, because it's about having a balance, is it? It's OK saying, yes, we want to play on the front foot, we want to play exciting, attacking football, but what happens when the coin flips and you're having to defend? Because, you know, we can highlight the attacking threat that we have, but we need to be solid defensively, and at times I felt that we weren't today. It could have easily... I mean, Jensen had a brilliant chance. He really did. Keskinen squared that ball 6 yards out. He should score. You know, you're coming up against a Spain, a France. That's goal, 100%. So this is the worry and the theory that you have to get that balance right. And it is a concern because the way they conceded the corner and the way they conceded that goal was far, far too easy. So it's all right having the balance of having that attacking threat, but we need to be better defensively because Henderson's come in today and he wanted to make an impact. He hasn't done a thing wrong, by the way, but to concede a goal, it'd have been great for him to have a clean sheet, come away. He stepped into the boots of Jordan Pickford. Now he's conceded a goal. People probably will question him. So defensively, it has to be more solid. And as I said, we need to move the ball quicker if we are going to go and beat teams and have that attacking impetus going forward, because I just didn't see it until the subs were made.